Many amateur players hit their forehand with a stiff plaster cast arm. But the moment you separate the upper and forearm into a 1-2 sequence, the power is released. Today, let's talk about the key to acceleration. The key to acceleration isn't just about using force. Force is the overall effort, while acceleration is that burst at the instant of ball contact. This instantaneous acceleration at contact is the most crucial part of table tennis. So, if you want to accelerate, you must be relaxed beforehand. Because relaxation creates the space and time needed for acceleration. Take Shuai Shuai for example. The change I see is that he used to have a tense forearm on his backswing. Now, he relaxes it. This is a tense forearm, see how tight it looks. And this is a relaxed forearm. See? The explosive power is immediately different. Look, that's the difference between a tense and a relaxed forearm. For a while, Shuai Shuai's shoulder injury was very serious. He needed acupuncture and physical therapy, spent a lot of money, all because of injury. That was because he couldn't generate power but kept trying to force it, which put too much strain on his shoulder. So, players, you must change this habit. In a match, when you see an opportunity, you'll want to kill it with one shot. But if you can't generate power correctly, you'll injure your shoulder or elbow. Therefore, during the backswing, don't tense your forearm, relax it. This is a relaxed forearm. This is a tense forearm. Second point, how can we increase speed? I feel that looping is like this, let me give you a demonstration. I'll exaggerate the motion to make it clear. Take a look. My feeling is, it's like throwing a punch. You have to swing back a bit first, then release. If you just push a punch like this, it won't hurt. Serving is the same. Why can't you get heavy backspin? It's because you're tense the whole time. For a chopping hook serve, you must have that feeling of whipping through the ball. A loop needs to be like a whip, with sequential movement. A stick uses force all at once. The whip's handle moves first, then the tip follows. With the same force, a stick might just bruise someone, but a nunchaku will leave a bloody welt. Because the tip of the nunchaku moves so fast, it hurts more. Similarly, our ball will have higher quality. Think of your upper arm as the first section of the nunchaku and your forearm as the second. That's the concept. Let it have a whipping or swinging feeling, and your power generation will be correct. However, the table tennis ball is too light. You can't just swing wildly like that, or it'll go off the table. So what do? We make the time delay in this whip-like motion much shorter. What does that mean? Watch. The time delay here is very brief. See that? There is a sequence. The feeling should be that your body initiates the movement, and the body drives the arm. Although the body drives the arm, don't let this sequential timing become disconnected. Don't let your body be too fast and your arm too slow. There is a sequence, but the time gap is very small. As soon as the body initiates, the arm starts moving forward. If you watch Ma Long's or Sun Yingsha's forehand in slow motion, their hips and legs always start first, then the arm follows. The arm and body do not start at the same time. Why can't amateur players feel the body driving the arm? It's because when the ball comes, your arm initiates the movement. At best, your arm is pulling your body, so you can't feel the body's power. Next time, try to feel this, let your hips and legs initiate the forward movement, and then have your arm follow quickly. It's the feeling I have right now. If you observe carefully, all players who lift their upper arm high don't use body rotation. All players who lift their upper arm are just hitting the ball with their arm. Especially for players who are thinner, weaker, or older and lack that raw strength, you must use your body. You can't have a small cart pulling a big wagon. If your arm, the small cart, moves first, it can't pull your body, the big wagon. You need the body to pull the arm. When the body moves fast, the arm's swing speed, that snap we talk about, will be at its fastest. You must understand it like a nunchaku. The first section is the body, the second is the arm. They must have a sequential relationship. The second key point is, why do many players feel they lack instantaneous acceleration in their loops? I'll do 2 demonstrations. The first. The second. The first. The second. The second one was correct. In the first one, the upper arm and forearm move together as a single unit. Can you see that? The second one was separated. Look, for many players, the forearm is just dragged along by the upper arm. See, in this shot, the upper and forearm are not separated. This one too, the upper and forearm aren't separated. It doesn't mean you have to lift your arm high. They can be locked even at a normal height. Coming up with a tucked arm like this is called a fixed angle forearm snap. The one I just demonstrated is another example of an unseparated arm and forearm, what we call a plaster cast arm. So the biggest weakness is that your shots lack threat. Your potential is capped right there. Like some top-tier pros, even though the arm moves as one unit, they compensate with immense body rotation. This isn't easily replicated by amateurs. If you watch their loop, the body rotation is massive, which compensates for any lack of explosive power in the arm. In contrast, Sun Ying-sha and Wang Manyu's bodies are much more stable, which is why their single-shot quality is much higher. So if you have a plaster cast arm and no body rotation, you'll be a sitting duck, won't you? Therefore, when looping, your upper arm and forearm must be separated. I'll demonstrate with some topspin balls. Separated means opening up on the backswing and snapping closed at impact. Open, then accelerate. Let me imitate how many amateur players do it. So many people hit like this. Looping a backspin ball is the same. Open, accelerate. Do you need to snap your forearm? Yes. The key is when you snap it. Some players will say, when I watch matches, Ma Long's swing is also very big. And he snaps his forearm. That's because the opponent's chop is extremely heavy. If his opponent was at our level with low-quality balls, he wouldn't need to snap his arm that much. Let me show you when he snaps it. He snaps it right at the point of contact. Otherwise, you can't generate that much power. But when you accelerate and snap your forearm, you don't do it in place. This is the biggest problem. Your upper and forearm should first move forward into the ball, and only after you've made contact do you snap the forearm. Look, if we practice looping by just snapping the forearm in place like this, you could do it hundreds of times and it would be useless. So, how should you practice normally? You can do this. Right now, I'm not using much force, but I am accelerating. Players, you must distinguish between the two. Using force is not the same as accelerating. This is how you should practice. If you try to loop every ball with 100% power, you'll miss or get blocked after 2 or 3 shots. You'll be covered in injuries before you even master the technique. Acceleration should be practiced through continuous rallies, like a blocker-looper drill. This is why professional teams spend so much time on single-ball and multi-ball drills to train this. If you don't have a consistent partner to block for you, use a robot. When practicing, use 50% of your power. Feel the relaxation, then the instantaneous acceleration. By focusing on that moment of acceleration, the ball gets more spin. Can you see the difference in speed between my backswing and the moment of contact? This slow to fast rhythm is very clear. Watch closely. It's this one motion, brushing over the ball, that makes it so spinny. Because after practicing this way, when you serve an attack or loop a heavy spin ball in a match, you'll be able to execute. Most amateurs use a constant speed swing, which becomes even slower and stiffer in a match, causing them to fail to control the opponent's spin trajectory. You must create a change in rhythm between the backswing and the shot. Can you practice a drive this way? No, only a loop. A drive emphasizes a compact overall motion. What does that mean? The drive motion must be compact because if you want to hit through the ball, the whole movement needs to be tight. Because a drive requires a fast backswing and a fast forward swing. Why a fast backswing? To create space for power generation. If you're this close to the ball, you can't generate any power. So a drive requires a fast backswing, fast follow-through. But a loop is different. A loop needs a relaxed backswing, then accelerate. That's the difference. If your backswing is too fast when looping, you won't be able to time the contact point correctly. For a loop, you need a relaxed backswing that matches the rhythm of the incoming ball, followed by acceleration. Look at my power generation. My body is definitely engaged, but where does the power in my arm come from? It comes from the upper arm and forearm working together. Using only the upper arm or only the forearm won't generate enough power. They need to coordinate. When they coordinate, the power emerges, just like a whip or a nunchaku. On a macro level, the body is section 1 and the arm is section 2. On the micro level of the arm, the upper arm is section 1, and the forearm is section 2. See? Separate the upper and forearm into a 1-2 sequence, and the power is released. Watching this live, the ball speed is intimidating. You wouldn't think it came from a player this slim. Fellow players, imagine your body's segments as a nunchaku. For overall power, the body is section 1, the arm is section 2. For arm power, the upper arm is section 1, the forearm is section 2. Then you can have a powerful loop like this.